customer expectations are really important. So we're going to break down our answer into a few videos. This week, we're going to talk about defining expectations, and then we're going to talk about where you document. Next few videos, we'll talk about the how and when questions that we asked in last week's video. First, let me define expectations. Expectations are more than your contract terms. They may be included in your contract, but they're more specific to the boundaries that define the relationship with your customer. For example, when can a customer expect to hear back from you after they contact you via email, a phone call, or social media? It may be different based on the channel, but how will they know if you don't tell them? You may be saying, Melissa, I'm not in an industry that really has to define those things. To that, I would say, really? How many times have you personally contacted a company and had expectations on when they would get back to you, but they didn't meet those expectations? Point being, if you are dealing with humans, I suspect most of you are, humans have expectations. And if you don't clearly state your company expectations, there is going to be an immediate misalignment between your unstated expectation and your customer's supposed expectations. So let's get to solving this challenge. In the last video, I said, where are your company expectations documented? I know, documentation as a solution again. I emphasize this, however, because I've seen the power and positive impact of documenting, especially challenges that you have. As I've said before, you cannot improve something you have not documented. And I also find that documentation also surfaces challenges you didn't even realize you had. Ask your team what your company expectations are and start to see the variety of answers that you get if you've never clearly stated them. If they aren't documented, variety is what you will get. And yet, consistency is what is needed when dealing with customers. How can employees know what expectations to communicate if they're not clearly documented and accessible in something like the employee handbook or an intranet? How can customers know your expectations unless you verbally reviewed them and sent them documentation, maybe even posted them in your customer portal? Documenting expectations is a great foundation to managing customer expectations. Tune in next week for more tips on managing customer expectations.